Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Hello and welcome to the Download Podcast brought by The Wheel. I am your host, Adam Hess, and with me, his favorite Jimmy Buffett song is the Pina Colada song. It's Mike Regan. Mike, how you doing today?
I mean, do I like drinking pina coladas and getting caught in the rain?
Do you like the taste of champagne? Or I guess, are you into champagne?
Am I not into yoga?
Mm-hmm. Do you have half a brain?
These are all questions we'll never have the answer to.
Who likes making love at midnight? Oh, at home alone. Not to mention on like some fucking sandy ass dunes.
Right, he's sand in the crotch.
Yeah.
I don't like sand. Do you like getting sand in your crotch? In the dunes on the Cape.
You know, I quite frankly think that relationship's doomed. They both took out personal ads in the newspaper to cheat on their spouse.
Or they had a bitch and foursome.
Well, it was just the two of them at the bar.
Yeah.
At the end of the
But
song.
maybe they told their significant others. That's a good question, though. At what point does it become an orgy? Is it foursome and then orgy?
Hold on, wait. We're really brushing by this. You see, the plot of the song, Mike, is that
yeah, they're. Oh, that's right. And then it's
his wife.
Right,
yeah, it's his wife. Yeah,
his wife. Yeah, that's right. That is right.
There is no foursome to be had.
Well, unless
I'm just going to set the demonetization scale from 1 to 0 on this,
okay.
since we started off by doing a bunch of music bits and then talked about sex immediately. I'm going to assume this video will be demonetized.
I never said sex. You said sex.
Let's talk about sex.
Baby, let's talk about you and me. Disgusting, Adam. This is a
this
good
hopefully
podcast.
Hopefully, my last man. You have the son of heaven coming in through the left side of your camera there.
I look majestic. I look anointed.
You're also
descending down from the heavens.
You're also wearing. Is there snow outside? Is that why you have the light of an exploding star coming in through your window?
Yeah, there's still some snow on the ground.
Yeah, that's why I had to close my blinds because my entire face looked like.
Yeah.
You ever?
The window where the light's coming in from does not have a blind, so.
Mike also on the stream last night promised a standing pod, and yet here he is, seated.
Well, but I could do this. Maybe I'll stand up at some point.
You know, your conviction when you say things versus your conviction when someone goes, "Hey, you gonna do that?" are two very different things.
Sure.
All right,
what's your point?
Did you have any last bits or stuff we need to get out of the way here, or can we just go into talk about football?
I guess let's talk about football.
All right. Super Bowl week. Oh, sure, I guess I'm talking football.
Talking football.
Mike, coaching news. We got coaching news. There's coaching news. First off, the Broncos filled their offensive coordinator vacancy by promoting Davis Webb. Everyone thought Davis Webb was getting a head coaching job for like the last 3 straight offseason cycles, and now he's finally an offensive coordinator on a team he will not call plays for. Your thoughts?
I mean, I guess it tracks with the pieces that they lost. That's where they would go. I mean, I thought he was a dark horse for the Bills job, obviously, because I don't know. A lot of reporters made a big to-do about him backing up Josh for like 3 years and them apparently having a really good relationship. But from the sound of it, it doesn't sound like Allen had, according to Allen, he sat in on the meetings, but he didn't really have much of a final say in who was hired. So, but I'm fine. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, like their passing game wasn't that great last year. So I don't know. What are we gleaming from this? Or is this not a Davis Webb thing? Is this maybe an old man Sean Payton thing? I don't know.
Let me ask you this. What current NFL backup do you think one day will be like a big name in coaching cycles, despite all of us not knowing anything about him as a coach?
That is a good one.
Yeah. Mariota?
Nah.
Mariota's like, he's like too big of a name for this. Like a Mariota level quarterback basically becomes a coach like what, once a generation?
Yeah.
Like he was a number one pick, he was a starter for a few years. That would be like if Ryan Leaf was a head coach in the NFL in like 2009.
Right. I mean, you got to think. You want to think backup, journeyman. He's hung around the league for a decent chunk of years.
Mm-hmm.
nothing about his game that's really sexy. He's just very standard across the board. He'll keep the train on the tracks, but don't ask him to do anything too much now, because, So I'm trying to think.
May I pitch you two names that you have evoked
Okay.
in my head sphere?
Mm-hmm.
One, the softer one. This is probably not it. Jimmy G.
Dates porn stars.
Backed up Brady.
Okay, yeah.
Played under Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Dated a porn star.
Dated a porn star.
My other one, Teddy Two Gloves.
Teddy Two Gloves. I could
Teddy
see that
Two
one.
Gloves. Teddy Two Gloves. He's already coached in high school. We know because he bought a kid an Uber and got fired from Florida.
Yeah, Teddy Two Gloves. He's been around for a minute. I could see that one.
You think there's someone who this is their first Town Alone podcast they've listened to, and we said Teddy Two Gloves, and they just have no fucking idea who we're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if he doesn't really fit the mold. I was gonna say about Joe Flacco. He's been around so long.
I cannot imagine Joe Flacco coaching a football team.
He's just been on so many staffs. You would think at some point. What about you think could you see Kirky Q one day being an offensive coordinator?
I think Kirky Q. I can't see him being an offensive coordinator. I can see him hanging around the league in some regard for years and years to come. Although maybe he'll just be a halftime guy because, I feel like if Kirky Q has to hang him up, he has nothing else in his life. He's got a kid and a wife and believes in God, I think, or something. But his entire life is football. During COVID,
right,
he said that he would die on the football field if that's what it took. I can't imagine Kirky Q one day going, well, time to hang him up and pick up an iPad. All right, well, you see, this interception you threw here, Arch Manning, was because
right.
I don't know why people throw it. Can you explain to me why you threw that interception? I don't really understand it.
All right, I'm gonna throw out one more name.
Uh-huh.
What about a little Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, I think Tyrod's kind of, yeah, he's kind of in the same camp as Teddy Two Gloves. You're talking veteran leadership. Every team that those two guys go to, they stick on that staff for a while. It's never oh, this guy was here one year and then went somewhere else the next year. It's they're there for a little bit. And Tyrod Taylor knows how to warn quarterbacks when there's a guy standing behind him with a giant needle.
Yeah, they both have a little bit of starting experience.
Yeah.
And even after that, there's still value in them. Teams are still signing them because they have value to sit behind their QB, keep the train on the tracks if they have to come in.
I think what we really need to do is we need to look at undersized college quarterbacks that people talk about their leadership. So, who's your guy from Purdue that looks like he's 41?
Purdue?
Not Purdue. Where is he
Are you
from?
talking about the dude from Vanderbilt?
Sure. Same. That's the same school. You just said the same school twice.
No, I didn't. Are you talking about Diego Pavia?
Yeah, Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
He's undersized, right? Or does he just have an undersized looking face?
Yeah. Yeah, he's undersized. I think he measured in. Yeah, what his measurements were not great.
Diego Pavia, the next Sean McVay.
I don't know about that. I think Sean McVay might be bigger. Yeah, he at the Senior Bowl he measured in at 5'9", 7'8" inches. 198 pounds though.
Sean McVay is 5'10".
See, he doesn't have that extra eighth of an inch to coach a Super Bowl winner. All right,
that's how Sean McVay's able to see over the play sheet. The Diego Pavia couldn't.
All I know
Diego
is Bryce
Pavia
Young is so happy.
Here's why Diego Pavia would get a job fast. Because people would see him and they'd be like, this guy's got to have 13, 14 years coaching in the NFL at this point. Look at his face.
He played a lot of college ball, and he has good leadership traits. So I think he for sure will be on a practice squad. I could see him even getting drafted in the 7th round, 6th or 7th round, and maybe end up on a practice squad. Maybe be like that, that QB3 on a roster. He has that moxie that some coaches are going to be like, you love the jam. By God, we're never going to play you, but great locker room guy, kid.
You heard it here first. The next 31-year-old Super Bowl winning coach, Diego Pavia.
Do you think at one point him and Bryce Young are going to cross paths and Bryce Young measured 5'10", 1'8" at the combine? I think he's going to be like, can you see me from all the way down there? Short guy.
Bryce Young's been waiting for this moment his whole fucking life. So I guess we didn't care that much about the Davis Webb promotion. I'm gleaming from the fact that we immediately started talking about Teddy Bridgewater and Diego Pavia.
Do you have hot takes, passionate takes on it?
My hot take is like, why are we anointing this guy as like a future coach when we've never seen him call plays? That's always gonna be my thing. I do not want anything to do with an offensive assistant who's never called plays.
Mm-hmm.
That's simply it. That's simply my take. Tell me the best offensive
your tune
coach.
could change.
Yeah, tell me the best offensive coach who's never called plays.
Do you have one?
No, there isn't one.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't get hired to be head coach when they don't call plays.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. It seemed like you were going to follow it up, but we can move on to the next coaching news.
I was going to say you have a good point. I mean, even if he does call plays this year, there's always going to be the Andy Reid to Bieniemy and now Sean Payton to Davis Webb thing, where they'll be like, well, how much was he calling plays? How much was Sean jumping in on the headset and basically planning the entire offense?
I feel like if I was Eric Bieniemy, I would just be snapping clipboard after clipboard after clipboard, watching Davis Webb get all these coaching interviews when it's like he was the quarterback's coach under Sean Payton.
Yeah. Who was Payton's like during Drew Brees' heyday? Like when they won a Super Bowl in NOLA, who was his OC?
Diego Pavia.
All right. We can move on while I try to Google this.
Okay. The next piece of coaching news to come out. Mike LaFleur hired as the Cards' new head coach. New head coach, the Rams' former offensive coordinator. The Sean McVay, I touched shoulders with him once, and now he's a head coach. Tree continues to sprout its leaves. Cardinals, early contender for team talent alone, 2026-27. New head coach in the building. What's up?
Oh, dear God. Pete Carmichael was the OC for the Saints basically Peyton's entire time, 2009 to 2023.
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's now a senior offensive assistant for the Broncos. And I think, wait, did he just get a job somewhere? Why does that name sound familiar all of a sudden?
Because it's a very generic name. Like,
Pete Carmichael?
You meet 25 Pete Carmichaels a day.
Oh, yeah. He's the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. I was like, wait, why does that name sound familiar?
That guy's
just hired him a few days ago.
I like the Bills doing the opposite of the Commanders, where they're like, all right, we got this first-time head coach in here. Let's support him with staff that's long tenured in the league. And the Commanders, Dan Quinn's like, God damn it, I'm only hiring people that have no shot at taking my job.
Yeah, I was just I look like such an idiot. I looked that up and I was like, oh, it was Pete Carmichael. That sounds familiar. And I was like, oh, Pete Carmichael was on the Broncos staff this past 2 years. Yeah, that's really familiar for some reason. But I do like that we interviewed Davis Webb, who was the QB coach and passing game coordinator of the Broncos. Didn't hire him. Hired Brady and then went back to the Broncos and did hire their senior offensive assistant to be the OC for us.
Yeah, you think
really weird.
You think Davis Webb was like, oh, I couldn't have done my job if it wasn't for Pete Carmichael, or PDCs as they call him there.
I feel like Pagula and Bean were in Denver and they're just like, we're leaving here or something. So you pick someone, we're taking them with us.
They don't have that Commander's money to turn the jet around mid-flight.
Yeah.
Mike LaFleur, new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Mike?
Not Matt LaFleur.
Not Matt LaFleur. How pissed is Short King Don Shula right now that he didn't get a coaching gig, but Dark Horse Mike LaFleur ended up getting one? Like if I went back 2 months and I just showed you the headline, Rams assistant gets head coaching job with the Cardinals, you would have been like, oh, Chris Shula did get a job. Cool.
Yeah, but then, so I'm not trying to make, say, go back and listen to the podcast. I've spent the last month shitting on the Rams defense and like being cooled off on Shula. But the one thing that kept humming all year from start to finish was the offense. Now I know you can be like, well, they have, Stafford, great weapons, McVay, good offensive line, so it makes it a little bit easier.
I'm going to go ahead and just take a shot in the dark here and say that Mike LaFleur probably wasn't calling plays.
Well, he was coordinating the offense. Was he calling the plays? You don't know, but he was coordinating it.
I feel like the offensive coordinator for the Rams, your job is just to make sure that Sean McVay has a headset on and that Matt Stafford's headset's working in his helmet. That's how you coordinate the offense.
I just wonder if they were ever like on the headset and LaFleur like sent a play down to Stafford and then you just heard McVay like, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
By the way, Chris Shula, 5'11".
Taller than Diego Pavia.
Taller than Sean McVay.
Oh, damn.
That's why he wanted to get rid of him.
I'm not entirely surprised by
Didn't want a taller guy on his staff anymore.
And they had the best offense in the league this year. I think that's fair to say.
And Mike LaFleur, by the way, played college basketball, despite the fact, Mike, that he's only 5'11".
Interesting.
Should it be our new slant? Coaching heights? Is this what we do now?
That's what I'm saying, was best offense in the league this year, and he's been the OC there, whatever that entails, for 3 years. So you're hoping, like, after like a 3-year stretch, the question of like how much of it is McVay, how much of it is him, it can start to turn into like, well, either way, what has he learned from McVay, and what can he do for us? And that kind of starts to shift. Also, I get your point. Like, head coaches who don't call plays, how good have they done? But then again, if he's going to be a head coach, he's not going to be calling plays anyway.
Why not? Sean McVay calls plays. Andy Reid calls plays.
That's
Kevin
true,
O'Connell
but in
calls plays.
the traditional
Sean Payton
sense.
calls
Also,
plays.
I'm
You
sure
want me to keep doing this?
LaFleur was
I can do this
calling
all
plays.
fucking day.
I'm sure it was a situation
Kyle Shanahan
where
calls plays.
LaFleur called that offense, but then I'm sure in like important crunch time situations, there was a conferring of minds with him and McVay.
Is this backed up by any research at all?
No, it should be totally taking a shot in the dark.
So Mike LaFleur did call plays during his time as the New York Jets offensive coordinator in 2021 and 2022. Mike, what do you remember about the 2021-2022 New York Jets?
Is that Zach Wilson?
It couldn't not be, right? By default, it must be. So I'm pulling up the 21-22 EPA per play, and the Jets ranked 30th in EPA per play on offense that year.
Yeah.
Now, how much can you blame them for that? Or how much can you blame now Cardinals head coach Mike LaFleur for that? Probably not a lot, but also it kind of seems like he got hired because he's friends with Sean McVay.
Yeah. Networking's a big thing. Networking's very important. Or maybe the Cardinals thought they were signing Matt LaFleur, and they were very confused when Mike showed up.
They thought they were down to Matt LaFleur and Don Shula.
Yeah. They're like, the one's kind of old, so.
Yeah, they really got to start reading first names there in Arizona. Final piece of coaching news, Mike. Reports now say Clint Kubiak is going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders come the end of the Super Bowl. Mike, when you heard this news, were you so shocked that you collapsed on the floor and panted for breath for 45 minutes?
No. It's very musical chairs.
It also seemed like it was like, huh. Clint Kubiak, who was like a premium name in the coaching market, probably the most premium name in the coaching market amongst the first-time head coaching hires, hasn't been hired yet. Hasn't been interviewing at these places, and it progressively seems like there's one place that stopped interviewing and isn't hiring a coach yet. Huh. I guess he's probably going there.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make, because I felt like the Raiders coaching search, like, yeah, sure, you would get, like, especially when the season first ended, you'd get like Blank's going to interview so-and-so, and you get like those. But like their coaching search, the news on it went very quiet to the point where it was like, all right, yeah, so it's probably Kubiak. If he doesn't go anywhere else, we know for sure that's what it is. Like they had their guy from early on.
Like cresting over the side of your face, making you look like it's the end of a movie. Like, the sun is setting. Player? The sun is setting on this story. Yeah, and the thing that you got to give Kubiak credit for is that he called plays.
True, called some damn good plays.
Went to show you that either Sam Darnold needs a future coach of the year, like he had in Kevin O'Connell, and might now have in Clint Kubiak, depending on Clint Kubiak's success in a very bad organization, or that Sam Darnold is propping up Kevin O'Connell and Clint Kubiak, and they're both just going to be disasters next year. Kevin O'Connell, suddenly Sam Darnold's gone. You can't win. Sam Darnold buoyed your team up. That's what happened here. You need Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold to win any games, Kevin O'Connell?
Wasn't O'Connell the LaFleur of the previous offseason, where his contract was coming up?
Yeah, and then he got signed to an extension, so.
Yeah, big mistake. Huge.
Also, I think that they ended up winning like 10 games, despite their terrible.
Every time you look back at the standings, they won more somehow.
Yeah.
They went undefeated?
Yeah, they won 17 games and missed the playoffs. Mike, that's all I got. coaching news wise. Anything else you want to talk about for coaches?
Yeah, there's a bunch of like positional coach moves, but I didn't write any of them down, so let's move on.
And simply, who cares? We'll only talk about them once they're getting interviews with the Buffalo Bills to be their next head coach after Joe Brady gets fired. Mike, you're a little called sicko, right? You just like to sit there and watch your little young boys run around on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Mike went to sleep.
Sorry, no, I was jotting something down so I wouldn't forget to say it later.
Hopefully it wasn't.
Oh, are we jumping to this now?
Yeah, that's what I said we were gonna do in the pre-podcast meeting.
Don't remember you saying that.
You even agreed with it.
Are you serious? Because I really have no recollection, and that kind of scares me a little bit.
I was talking about how I said, so I think we'll do coaching news, then the Senior Bowl, and then we'll do Super Bowl, and you went, okay.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Like, the Senior Bowl happened. And it's been wiped from Mike's memory. Well, it hasn't been, but other conversations happened. The reason Mike can't remember that we talked about this is because his brain is taken up with so many Senior Bowl takes. So we got to get those out of him. We got to talk about some Senior Bowl standouts, Mike. You grinded the tape. You watched practice reps. Mm-hmm. You maybe watched the game. Who watches the Senior Bowl? No one cares. The Senior Bowl practice is what matters. The game
I watched
doesn't matter at all.
Every minute of it last year. This year I didn't get a chance to because I was stuck at work. So,
but you're the Senior Bowl guy, Mike. You're the guy I most associate with the Senior Bowl. You and Diego Pavia. So let's talk about some standouts, Mike. Give me some standouts. I got some written down in case you don't mention them to fill in the gaps. But give me some standouts, Mike. Give me some Senior Bowl standouts.
All right. Well, right off the bat, someone I mentioned in the it was the last week, week before. We talked like draft. I think there was like a couple names that could like move up draft boards between now during this long process, and I said Jacob Rodriguez, one of the best defensive players in the country this year, senior linebacker at Texas Tech. I mean, he wrecked shops at the Senior Bowl, looked phenomenal in practices as far as that goes. So I still think he should be. If he's not going to be, I mean, he's not going to catch. He's not the type of linebacker that would catch like an Arvell Reese. But I don't know. It's not crazy to think he can bump to 2 or definitely be the third linebacker off the board. He's just a very good middle linebacker, dude. Good in coverage, hands, can force fumbles. Just like the dude you want. It's the kind of anchor you want in the middle.
You said Texas Tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's also coming from a very good defense. So I like, to me, the Senior Bowl is seeing a guy like that who plays what is usually a supportive position, middle linebacker, on a very good defense, seeing how they can shine in another role.
Yeah.
So him stepping into the Senior Bowl and doing extremely well in the practices in particular, you love to see that, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also on defense, Derek Moore in the early days of practice was just wrecking shop, defensive end from Michigan. So I have to double check where I've been seeing him on boards. I haven't seen him super high, but the dude had like 11 sacks last year and like 9 QB hits or something like that. Like he was wrecking shop, and he was going up against some of the top offensive tackles who were there and was just bull rushing them and knocking them out of the way. 6'3", 260, good size.
You do love. I would say every year when the Senior Bowl comes around, I know because that's when I start getting tweets sent to me of the line reps where it's just one lineman against one defensive lineman, and you're just like, look at him, move that guy. Who else you got for me, Mike?
Another edge rusher who actually won the defensive MVP was a little man by the name of Zion Young out of Zoo. Also looked very good. Had 8 sacks on the season. He won the defensive player MVP, and he was the other guy who was popping up a lot in practice highlights that were coming across the feed. It was him and Derek Moore who were just making life tough on tackles.
Zion Young seems like a guy who's gonna. This is, we did a whole bit about guys who will inexplicably rise during the offseason. Mm-hmm. I think Zion Young peaked already. Like I think that he got so much hype coming out of the Senior Bowl that I feel like now he can only fall, right? Like I feel like he's the opposite, where nothing's gonna happen. He's gonna test fine at the combine, but like he played so well at the Senior Bowl that now he's like a top 25 prospect in the draft.
So you think,
and I will say, he doesn't have like crazy production, 6.5 sacks, 2.5 sacks, 1.5 sack, and 1 sack, but the production does keep going up, which is the important thing. And he doesn't have like a year where it's like, oh my god, he exploded because suddenly he was like man-sized, which is something that always unnerves me slightly when a guy goes from like 4.5 sacks to 11.5 sacks, and it's like, well, yeah, because he was a senior playing against freshmen.
Yeah. My mind just went blank. Why did it go blank? Anyway, yeah, moving on. So since I mentioned a Mizzou player, I'll go ahead and just keep since they're like my adopted team, I fell in love with because of because I bet a lot of money on them. One random
I would say the three Mike
season.
teams, the three Mike teams that aren't Notre Dame are Mizzou, Tulane. Although Tulane's faded, to be fair, but Tulane's
faded, yeah.
And Alabama. You're a big Alabama guy.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's starting to fade some. Because a big part of that was just how Nick Saban's is the best football coach of all time.
Well, they hired your boy.
They got DeBoer. I was like, this is great, but we'll see. Yeah, there's still some. Every once in a while, randomly, I'll just be sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'll just go, roll tide. But go to my actual homer school that has my heart, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Malachi Fields.
Yeah, he's a big one.
Yeah, 6'4", 222. I think he may have actually measured a little bit bigger there. I can't remember. But he was mostly like a deep shot guy for us. But he came out and during practice reps, dude showed some route running and some quick cuts to get separation on these routes. He also had a huge highlight catch where the ball was overthrown and he reached out and got it.
What I love about that catch that kind of like the clip bounced around is that he almost runs down the coaching staff watching the rep. Trying to track down that catch. And also, I have no idea who the player was, but underneath the route. So he runs like a post and then has to swing back outside to catch this ball, running through the coaching staff once again. But over the middle, there's a guy that runs like a shallow crosser who has like 7 steps on the defensive back supposed to be covering him. And whoever the quarterback was doesn't even look at him. Doesn't look at the guy underneath. He's going for the fucking moon on that rep no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, he rips that ball despite the fact he had a guy underneath that was 9,000 feet open.
Projected 40-yard dash of 4.5, but for a dude who's pushing 230 and is 6'4", we'll take a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 at 230. That's like 2 tiers beneath like Nick Manwari's size speed score.
Right, and then I always think okay, at your 40 speed, but sometimes I think sometimes it's good to watch and see what's like the acceleration. Yeah, and how well is he going to create separation once he has the ball and like that breakaway speed is something you also have to key on. And it was good for him because he transferred to Notre Dame last year after being at UVA his first 4 years, and his targets, his catches, and his yards actually all dipped. But so it was big for him to come out and show off at the Senior Bowl. So now I'm going to be like, hey, Bills, day 2 pick Malachi Fields.
You know what's also sick about Malachi Fields?
What name?
Number 0.
That's badass.
Yeah, you got to love a wide receiver wearing number 0. Well, most of the time. I think that we could probably think of particular examples that it didn't work out great for. Mm-hmm. Who maybe got their coach fired this year. Keon Coleman's 0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who I was going with. Mike, anyone else you want to mention?
Yeah. So a couple more. One that jumped out was Jaden Ott, the running back from Oklahoma. Looked very well and played good in the game. And that one's just notable because all Sooner fans were pissed because he barely touched the ball all year. They're like, what the hell? Where did this come from? So that'll be a good one to watch, especially come combine time in a draft class where there is literally a running back 1, and I don't think there's anything else set in stone behind that.
It looks like Ott had a pretty good early career at Cal. Why do people transfer away from Cal and then get shitty at football?
Right, they either get shitty or win the Heisman.
No, Fernando Mendoza sucks. That's what I'm going for. That's my point.
Did you see he officially got a sponsorship deal with LinkedIn because he wants you to hate him as much as possible.
Yeah, I've decided this is my draft season thing, and boy, I hope it pays off for me. I hope that he does not immediately come out in game 1, throw 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and afterwards go, golly gee, folks, I just love playing football here in Vegas for Tom Brady and Clint Kubiak.
All right, two more quick ones, then I'll.
Jay Knott? No more Jay Knott thoughts? You don't have any more Ott thoughts?
Yeah, I was just pointing them out because it was really funny to see everybody on Twitter get angry.
Yeah, 42 yards and a touchdown. at the Senior Bowl,
Played
which
pretty
for
well.
those of you who don't, Senior Bowl is kind of like the Pro Bowl where they just rotate people in and out constantly. So 42 yards and a touchdown, that's like pretty productive for the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, and it was like a fading. He had his sophomore year at Cal, he did really well, and he kind of broke out. And then 2024, I guess, was that injury shortened? No,
Yeah.
he just played like
So
shit in
he had 2
2024.
injury shortened years at Oklahoma, it looks like.
Well, no, he's only at Oklahoma for 1 year.
Yeah, okay, so he played Oklahoma 2025, which was also shortened from injury, and then his last year at Cal in 2024, he was also injured. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so his good play was 2 years removed. So this could be good for him. Like I said, I think this running back class is wide open. The combine's going to be very interesting this year for a lot of positions.
I think it's
And
pronounced
the last two
combine.
I have, combine, yes, the NFL combine.
Can I just say this real quick about, since we're talking about the
Yeah.
running back class? There has to have never been a time before where the number 2 prospect in a class was the backup to the number 1 prospect, right?
Did Barry Sanders and wait, repeat that one more time?
Has there ever been a class where the number 2 prospect at a position was the backup to the number 1 prospect at that position?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, not that I can think of.
Because right now, Jeremiah Love, far and away, RB1. The RB2 most people have is Jadarian Price, which was his backup.
Oh, people have Jadarian up there.
He is most big boards have the running back 2 as Jadarian Price.
Oh yeah, fair enough. And Jonah Coleman's out there, and then you got the 2 Penn State boys back there. But yeah, I didn't realize like when Jadarian Price declaring wasn't like as a surefire of a thing as Jeremiah Love. So I didn't really double check big boards since he had declared. So I didn't realize that people are. I mean, I love me some Jadarian Price. Who doesn't? Little Price.
That was like a me sentence.
Yeah, I know. Because what I was going to say was the only thing I could think that was close to it would, and if memory serves me correct, I think the same year Reggie Bush came out, I believe Lendell White, who was also the other running back at USC, came out, but he wasn't like considered like the number 2 right behind him. He was a few notches down.
Yeah, I think it went Leonard Fournette right after Reggie Bush.
No, that's you've messed up your timeline, buddy. All right, the last 2, because I know we got a lot of Super Bowl to talk. I don't know if I've seen a lot of people point this out, but I saw some good sticky reps from Jelon Kilgore.
I've
cornerback out
heard
of South
Kilgore's
Carolina.
name floated. Yeah.
Yeah, saw some good practice reps with him. Good athleticism. This in no way translates really historically to use this as a metric, but hey, Nick Emmanwori used to play in the same secondary as him. So
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Is that people are like, the new Emmanwori? No, probably not.
yeah, he's not as much of a genetic freak as Emmanwori though.
Is anyone? Have you ever seen anyone that is as much of an athletic outlier as Nick Emmanwori?
Mm-hmm. But Kilgore is
Davis Webb, Nick Emmanwori.
Kilgore is 6'1", which is actually good. That's tall for a corner, I feel like, these days in the NFL.
Yeah. He also, I mean, he's listed as a corner, but he's another one of those guys that like Emmanwori. They kind of move him around, and they moved him around at the Senior Bowl too. This year, he played most of his snaps in the slot or in the box. Like he moved around. Even had a few snaps at safety. But yeah, like if you're drafting Kilgore going, we're going to get the next Nick Emmanwori, you are not going to get the next Nick Emmanwori. You are going to get like Sua Craven's 99th percentile outcome, hopefully.
Yeah. His running mate Brandon Cease is higher up big boards than him. But
do you think? Wait. So Cease also a defensive back from USC, right?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
USC. You know.
Do you
SC.
think, I call him SC.
Well, that's because you're on the wrong side of history. From the real USC. Do you think that if he's like a shutdown corner at the next level, that his whole thing will he whenever he breaks a pass, he'll hand someone a cease and desist?
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Or he can just start a law firm if football doesn't work out.
Yeah. He's like, do you practice law? No, but my name just worked so well for it that I just had to start practicing corporate law.
I think corner in this class, defensive back probably in general, really, but especially corner is going to be an interesting one to kind of like deep dive going into the draft. because I feel like there's going to be a lot of room for movement. I know like most of the year it's been like Gerard McCoy, Mansour Delane, like the top two up on big boards. But I think there could be a lot of moving and shaking.
I also think that the cornerback and safety class are probably the two deepest classes in this draft.
Could be.
Maybe pass rusher. The difference is that there's like legit blue chip talent at safety and pass rusher, and not totally at cornerback, at least from the outside looking in.
I think there could be some more. I think there's a solid amount of high floor guys at defensive back. Put it that way.
Which,
Safe picks.
Who doesn't want a high floor? Diego Pavia probably does. Make him look a little
so he
taller.
can reach things on the top shelf. And the last name, because sirens. The Nuss Bus, offensive MVP, baby. All right. Probably the most common thing I saw people say about Nussmeier at the Senior Bowl was that he finally looked healthy again. And that was really one of the biggest problems this past season is he was just not healthy from the get-go, it appears. So I think a healthy Nussmeier with what he did at the Senior Bowl and what he can do in the draft process, call me crazy. I'm going to this is not as hot of a take as it's being set up to be, but I'm putting my money down. Nuss Bus is going to be the second QB off the board. He will jump Ty Simpson. Why? Because teams right now who are thinking Ty Simpson, number 2 QB off the board, are just saying it because they're like, well, I guess Ty Simpson. Like, they want someone to jump Ty Simpson, in my opinion. Those are the vibes I'm getting in the air. I don't know anything. I have no inside sources.
Well, Ty Simpson,
but that's the vibe I'm getting.
Had a quote the other day where he said that he didn't want to transfer schools because he thought it would sully his legacy. And it's like, bro, you played 31 games over 4 years at Alabama. Like,
you got beat.
What legacy?
You got beat for the starting job by Jalen Milroe twice. And then they didn't want to throw Keelan Russell to the Wolves as a true freshman. So they gave you, and there was, like I said, that middle stretch of the season. It was like, God damn, this dude's locked in. He's confident. He's slinging it. And then it just unraveled. And sure, people were like, oh, well, he's banged up. You can say about everybody, though. True. I mean, even you can come at me with what I said about Nuss and be like, dude, everybody gets banged up. But I don't know. He looked totally different those last few weeks in a way that was very scary.
Since you put a very mild hot take out there, you want me to put a much hotter take and we can come out somewhere in the middle?
Sure.
I'll say Garrett Nussmeier, first quarterback off the board.
Do you really believe that? He somehow jumps the Heisman winner?
Then we're kind of in the middle on how hot our takes are, so.
Yeah. The other wrench in this whole thing is Trinidad. Why did I say it like that? Like a really white person.
Trinidad.
Trinidad Chambliss. Still no news on the waiver. So, I mean, I think Ole Miss is moving forward with the assumption that, he's going to get it. It's going to be fine. But it still hasn't happened yet. So.
Chambliss, first quarterback off the board?
No, but if he doesn't get the waiver, he could definitely be the second one off the board. Yeah.
Can I throw out a few names you didn't mention?
Sure.
Rayshon Benny out of Michigan, interior defensive lineman. Big tough guy in the middle of the field.
Dude, that's a good school to draft from defensively.
Yeah, so he sat behind Mason Graham and then got his shot afterwards and had kind of like a meh up and down season, I believe. Let me double check that before I say things like that out loud. Let me double check that. So no bad seasons, but his last 2 seasons after Graham goes aren't anything to write home about, but has a really productive Senior Bowl. Just big honking Michigan dude in the middle of the line, 6'4", 305, graduate player. I think we could probably see him climb up the ranks a little bit.
Yeah, and I know I said it like slightly tongue in cheek, like that's a good school to draft from defensively, but like be a little more specific about it. Like when you look at guys like Derek Moore, Rayshon Beatty's another one, and you look and they're seniors and they aren't transfers. They've been Michigan the whole time. That means they were still part of the Harbaugh era that drafted that unreal defense.
Yeah.
So there's still vestiges of that, which I think is a good thing.
The other defensive lineman who had a pretty good standout Senior Bowl, Caleb Banks, 6'6", 330 IDL, redshirt senior,
old as fuck. Caleb Banks did have a lot of shop wrecking highlights, and just like one of those examples of how like goddamn, like that Gator defense was good.
Yeah, if it wasn't for
Like,
at quarterback.
oh, no, I'm just saying, like the last two, like there was defensive dudes on that roster that played really good the last 2 years, and this offensively could not get it together. Shout out Billy Napier. Go Dukes.
How about the ACC champion Duke's Chandler Rivers, 5'9", 185 at cornerback, but he's just like a really solid, good fundamental player, but so small. He's
Yes,
so small.
I didn't see like I saw a Kilgore name pop out there, and then I remember seeing Chandler Rivers as well pop out as a defensive back that turned some heads.
Currently 68th on PFF's big board for Chandler Rivers. They also have 5'10".
Yeah.
Final one I got for you.
Oh, good.
Final one I got for you here. I got to mention a safety. Prior answer for Prospect Wordle, Buddy Clark at a TCU. Buddy Clark got a TCU who had another, or at least one interception during team practices. And famously had a pick six against Michigan in 2022. You love guys that have a pick six against Michigan. It's your favorite thing.
Is that a thing I say?
I know. Who was it?
That was the thing
I guess you love Sant Russell, who had a pick six for Michigan that you always bring up.
That's a great play. Yeah. Bud Clark. I did not get that Prospect Wordle. I don't think I got that one because I don't remember him being one.
No, you got it in like 5.
No way, really? Oh.
Yeah.
I roll.
Yeah, you're very good. It was a long time ago because we were talking about
6.
safeties, I think, and so I did Bud Clark.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I got for the Senior Bowl, Mike. Any final Senior Bowl notes?
No, it got me excited for draft and to start diving into things. I think I didn't mention any offensive linemen in this segment, and I didn't get a chance to dive more into those, how they did the Senior Bowl, but I started thinking like that would be like a real sicko article to do. Just deep dive on the lineman draft class. I think I'm going to try to do it.
There you go. Mike has promised that he will do an offensive lineman deep dive on the draft, just like he promised to do a standing pod.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Standing pod.
About that article idea is that the draft's not for like what, another 2-3 months? So, 2 months.
Yeah. And after Sunday, all we'll have to talk about is the draft.
Can't wait.
Can't wait for the Super Bowl to get over so we can get the interesting part on the table.
That's right.
Speaking of Super Bowl, Mike. Super Bowl
It's happening.
60. It's happening. Sushi. It's happening this Sunday, live from sunny San Francisco. Is that where it is? San Francisco, right? San Francisco? The play at the United Center?
No, yeah.
The play at the United Center? Is it the United Center? Yeah, because there was that whole thing about like electrical substations, the conspiracy theory that floated around a couple weeks ago. Remember this? You see this?
Oh,
You hear about
okay.
this?
Yeah, Levi's Stadium. The Denim Stadium itself.
The Denim Stadium. The Will Levis Stadium. You ever realize that Levis and Levi's are spelled the same? It's just what accent
Apostrophe, I think. In Levi's.
Yeah, I mean there's an apostrophe, but it's all the same fucking letters, Mike.
Right.
It's not like I said quality in Levis. I was like, I said 2 words that have the same letters, and you were like, well, actually, I don't know if you've seen this apostrophe sitting here, but it implies possession. But Mike, with the Super Bowl, I figured we'd do a little bit more of our analytics style thing here, a little bit more of our haughty, high intelligence Mina Kimes style discussion here. And then on Thursday, we'll just turn into internet sickos and grab a bunch of player props.
Yeah.
Sound good? Mike did the Sol Roca. So, let's start with this. Let's start by talking about some of the more well-built units on each of these teams and how they'll work against each other. So, we'll start here where I think the Patriots' best unit across all their phases of competition is their defensive line, especially since Milton Williams has returned. Now, on the other end of things, Seattle's O-line, you don't get to Super Bowl with bad O-line, so they have a good O-line. But they didn't have like one of the top 3 O-lines. It is buoyed by a rookie who is playing exceptionally well in Gray Zabel. But I want to know where you sit on who is going to win on Sunday between Seattle's O-line and the Patriots' defensive line.
Well, I mean, when you look back into that last game again, I mean, they kept Byron Young. I mean, Byron Young was a non-factor. He was invisible in that last game.
Yeah.
And they kept Jared Verse pretty well in check. Milton Williams is more of an interior guy, though, right? Yeah. So
Crocodile
I guess
alligator.
that would, yeah. So that would really depend on more how well they're going to line up inside the gaps to stop him. I don't see the edge being a scary situation. Like there's, like you said, Gray's able. Like they've had good tackle play. The Seahawks have had this season. So I'm not really scared about what's going to be coming from the outside of the defensive front of the Patriots. That's just my personal opinion. So I think it's really just a matter of being able to, what am I doing with my arms? Stuff up the middle and not let the interior defenders make a difference.
Yeah, so Charles Cross, their left tackle, has had a very good year. Interior, Gray Zabel, probably their second best player on the year. Maybe not second best, but having also a very good year. Specifically, let me see if I can grab their postseason numbers. Yeah, so in the postseason, both the tackles have played well, and Gray Zabel has played well. So they have at least 3 high-quality options on that offensive line. Once again, it's not like they're going up against, the 90s Washington offensive line or even the Dallas O-line a few years ago. Like, this is a good, not great line that does have some weakness in the middle, Especially their center, Jalen Sundell, who has not played very well this offseason or this postseason. And on the other hand, this is kind of why it's a concern of mine as someone who wants the Patriots to lose by 9 million points. Their interior defensive line has been their strength.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is where they are routinely getting pressure from. And, just don't love that. Like, Milton Williams, second on the team in pressures, 17 pressures. He plays interior defensive line. Third is Corey Durden, also plays interior defensive line. So unless those guys are lined up across from Gray Zabel, and like Ken Walker's not a guy I associate with like great pass blocking reps.
Mm-hmm.
So I also don't love that fit. So I don't know what you do. And this Seattle team loves to run play action. They run a lot of play action, and Darnold's very effective under play action. But what's the one thing we know about play action, Mike? That's right, that it takes a long time to develop.
That's what I was going to say.
So if there's pressure coming up the gut, which we saw also against the Broncos, where all the pressure was coming in through the middle, and that causes players like Jared Stidham to chest pass the ball backwards. So with pressure coming up the middle from Milton Williams and Corey Durden, I don't love the fact that, long developing plays in the middle of the field. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They might have to do a lot more quick game, might have to rely on running to the outsides more.
They are. And I was thinking a similar thing because you think back to that Broncos game where they couldn't run the ball at all. Part of that was probably because, one, the Denver didn't run the ball very effectively all year. And plus, it was a backup QB, so I'm pretty sure the Patriots were selling out a little bit. But also there was the fact of the center injury for the Broncos was a problem.
Yes.
And so once again, if you're going to say, oh, the strength of their defensive is like on the interior, then they're going to be able to like hit that gap and just shut everything out when you try to go inside. Then you try to go outside. They got safeties who can get out there and make tackles. They got some good linebacker play and guys like Robert Spillane who can get out there to make tackles. So,
okay, Spillane got hurt in the last game. Is he good to go in this one?
I'll have to look into that. I'll have to call Shefty after we get off the call.
Okay, I'll call Shams. You call Shefty. We'll figure out if Spillane's playing.
Okay.
Spillane,
call,
is that anything?
Windhorse.
I think Windhorse has cancer, so I'd leave him alone.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's why he stopped doing his Windhorse thing. Oh, not Windhorse. I'm thinking of the other guy. I'm thinking of Woj.
Woj, yeah, okay. I was like, wait, what?
I heard the W and just went blind. I had W blindness.
I was like, but he hasn't lost any weight. No, I was kidding. That was me.
Let me see. I'm Googling Spillane Patriots injury. Yeah, so the most recent update I'm seeing here is that he is questionable. So we don't have an answer yet, but he appears to be questionable. Well, also Drake May is questionable with a shoulder injury, so
Okay.
that might be
He's gonna
worse.
go.
Although, wouldn't it be a little,
Karma?
yeah, if the Patriots got all the way
Say
there on the backs of facing, backup and bad quarterbacks and fired coaches and managed to at the end have to play with whoever their backup is. I assume Davis Webb. So, Mike, we need to come to a definitive answer on this. At the end of the day, we're looking back. Super Bowl 60 is in the books. You and I are both hammered sitting on a couch somewhere in 2 different states. We're texting. It's all in totally comprehensible English. It's all spelled correctly. It doesn't have any weird spaces or extra random letters in it. Who are we talking about first? How the Seattle O-line or the Patriots D-line?
I think we're going to be talking about the Seattle O-line, but there's going to be an amendment to that. Because we're talking about their linemen, and you brought up Ken Walker, not great in blocking. But you know who is? Not a lineman, but a man by the name of A.J. Barner can block.
Yeah.
He could be an X factor in this.
Can he play right guard?
No. But he could be an X factor in this. Why not just
motion him into the backfield? Yeah.
Yes, motion him into the backfield to block.
Yeah.
I like how I did this, and you were like, he's saying motion. I got it.
Yeah, I figured it out. I was there. So you don't think we're going to be talking about the Seattle O-line or the Patriots D-line? You think we're going to be talking about how A.J. Barner lit it up on 9 pass blocking reps?
Yeah, I did.
That might be all it takes. You think about it. You scored 9 touchdowns on those 9 reps. You're winning that game.
Yeah. Clint Kubiak's a good offensive coordinator. And part of that isn't just dialing up, the plays to move the ball forward. It's about your blocking schemes and how your blocking schemes and how you dial those up and what you can do to protect your weaknesses. I think he's gonna have a game plan.
You've been on some schemes recently.
Oh, schemes, big scheme guy.
I think I'm prone to agree with you. I think that no matter what, we mentioned Seattle's offensive line first when we talk about this because they either got destroyed, and that's why we're bringing them up, or because they found a solution and it all worked out great, and they won because they got those 9 touchdowns on those 9 A.J. Barner blocking reps.
Yeah.
Next up, Mike. This one is less of a strength on strength. It is more of a weakness against a mega strength that I want to touch base with you on. The Patriots wide receiver core. Styles make fights, by which you mean like if Mike Tyson fought a child.
Yes,
You'd at least want to tune in to that, right? You'd at least want to see what happened.
A lot of people did. It looked like Tyson threw the fight.
He lost by knockout in the 8th round. Are you doing like a Logan Paul thing?
Yeah, I was doing a Jake Paul bit.
Got it. I misunderstood. I thought that we were still in the universe where he fought a literal child.
Yeah.
Not just a man who acts like one.
No.
The Patriots wide receiver core against the Seattle Seahawks secondary. Who are we talking about come Monday on this podcast? Because obviously after we text about A.J. Barner for 45 minutes, I'm going to fall asleep on a train because I'll be too drunk to stay awake.
Something that I think hasn't been touched on is that the Seahawks secondary has got better as the year went on. I think. And the last few weeks they played really well.
Yeah.
They struggled against Stafford, but who isn't going to struggle against Stafford? Let's be completely honest.
The Panthers.
What? Oh yeah. Well, no, he still put up numbers against the Panthers. Come on. I'm just saying, it is what it is. Anyway, but so there's guys I think that May could attack, sure. Just throw one pass towards Tariq Woolen that he can break up, get him to taunt, and you can just burn him on the next play for a touchdown.
Is that the strategy?
If you ask me. But Devon Witherspoon's having the best year of his career.
Yeah, probably first team All-Pro this year.
Yeah, Julian Love is having a massive resurgent season after a dip last year, playing great. Came out of DBU. He
went to Ohio State.
Oh, you're so funny. So usually if they're going to go after a guy, they're probably going to try to pick on Kobe Bryant or Tariq Woolen. But even they have played better as the year's gone on. Still not great. The question is, even if those are the weaker guys you want to attack, I don't know if New England has the guys who can attack them. Like, is this a big Diggs game? Is this going to be Diggs' big moment?
Yeah. So if we just look at yards per reception, their leading receiver is Matt Collins. If you don't want to do that by yards, Kayshon Boutte. Do you trust either one of these guys? I mean, like, you could say whatever you want. Devon Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, Nick Worry, but do you trust any of these guys against a Mike McDonald defense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Josh McDaniels doesn't get enough credit for how clever he's been this season because we all like to make fun of him and be like, haha, that's the guy that sucked as a coach twice and is probably going to get another shot at being a head coach. But, like, Mike McDonald, he's like doing the Brandon Staley thing except right. It's like, no, this guy's changing up scheme and reinventing defense.
Yeah. And
he's going up against a rookie quarterback, which we're not talking about the quarterback quite yet, so I don't want to get too far into that. But you don't have Jamar Chase back there. You don't have Puka Nacua back there. You don't have Jack Smith and Jigba back there. You don't have a guy who could just beat any kind of covers. Like Kayshon Boutte, I like Kayshon Boutte enough. Like, he's a good piece, but like it sticks in my head watching him get absolutely cooked on that one-on-one route versus Pat Surtain. Like, Pat Surtain, reigning defensive player of the year, all-time cornerback. This is a team that the scheme is the Pat Surtain. So if Boutte's not breaking contain on the edge, the one thing he's supposed to do against Pat Surtain, how much are we believing in anyone to be open consistently in this game?
True. So one thing we should be concerned about, though, and you talked about it all year. Your cornerback too. Seattle sucks.
Back to the first podcast of the week, or first podcast of the season.
Josh Job's been a sieve in the playoffs.
Yeah. Job hasn't been great. I guess you would say Woolen, but Woolen is kind of a nickelback. I mean, he's kind of a thickleback. I mean, he's like a thick dude, but he's not in their base personnel, I don't believe.
Right.
I'd have to double check that.
So,
yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing about the offense versus defense battle, right? Is the defense has to be stout across the board or scheme better than the offense because the offense can just pick who they want to throw the ball at, right? That's why, Riley Moss at the start of the season had 9,000 pass interference penalties because they figured out that he had a tendency to grab, and so they would just chuck the ball at him over and over again. Like, that's what the offense gets to do. The defense has to react.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, man. Like, if I'm Josh McDaniels, if I'm Drake Maye, I'm calling this. I'm definitely not throwing it wherever Nick Worry is. I'm definitely not throwing it wherever Devon Witherspoon is. So that opens up, and Julian Love. I'm also not throwing it wherever Julian Love is. That opens up Tariq Woolen, who has had productive moments, and then like a bunch of other garbage, like Josh Jobe.
So I think what we could see is probably a mix of, I mean, I think they could come out and attack the linebackers and try to get them to pull those safeties down, and then just wait for that moment where they get the matchup they want, probably once again on Josh Jobe, and then just burn them.
So you're saying throw short, throw to the tight ends, run the
short
ball
to the middle.
Yeah.
Get Hunter Henry cooking. Diggs, say what you want. The dude can still run a damn route. Let him cook with his footwork and get some of that stuff shortened in the middle. And then eventually you get like Mac Hollins. Say what you want about Mac Hollins. You get him one-on-one. He can win a one-on-one battle against a bad corner.
I'll say this for what it's worth. You have a good point there, right? Like you drag the linebackers in, you have them bite on play action, which I was trying to look that up real quick, how often the Patriots run play action, but I got distracted with other stuff. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. While I'm pulling that up. So you have like the options to pull the linebackers in and then attack that. What I will say as a response is, the Seattle defense, part of their strength is how disciplined they are. So unless you know their reads and you're exploiting that, part of the reason that this team is here is because the defense is exceptionally disciplined. The other thing is, if you're going to run the ball to set up pass play action, which, to use the Solicism, you don't have to be good at running the ball to set up play action. You simply have to run the ball to set up play action. But if you're going to run the ball to set up play action, those are going to be wasted downs. The rush defense for the Seattle Seahawks is better than your rush offense as the New England Patriots. Even if you're running outside, you know who their top rush defense graded player on the Seahawks is?
Is it Byron Murphy or is it Lawrence?
Devon Witherspoon.
That's not good.
What do you mean? That's great. That means you can't get the outside run. There's a cornerback there who can fucking tackle, man.
Right, but that's probably skewed, isn't it?
291 rush defense snaps.
Oh, hey, that is more than I thought it would have been for a corner, yeah.
So,
good.
And also, like, we shit on Josh Jobe a second ago for his coverage. He's 4th in rushing grade for this team. Like, their outside players fucking tackle, man. And, like, that's been their staple all year. So, you're probably not going to have as much success running outside. I mean, that's been your game all year, is you just need to break one and you're good. But you're not going to have as much success running outside. The interior defensive line has some fucking dogs on it. And then right behind them, you have really strong linebacker play from players like Drake Thomas, Tyrese Knight, and Pat O'Connell.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to come out with a lot of quick passes.
Yeah, I'm curious what personnel the Patriots are going to come out in. Is kind of my thought on it too.
Yeah, I don't think they have the. I think their offensive line's been shaky too. On top of that, so I mean, do you want to let Drake May dance around and try to hopefully get a deeper shot set up, or I think they're going to come out with a little bit of like that. Trying to think, like those years where Brady's receivers were just like fine, you know, but he was like Tom F.
Like
and Brady, so yeah, like no, 2007 he had Randy Moss and was just ruining everybody's life. But okay, but like those years where he had like Edelman's and whatever, and people are going to say, oh no, they were actually great, they were explosive. I'm sure. Whatever. My point being is there'd be games where Brady would just be like, all right, I'm going to snap, and then before like the defenders even get a chance to get near me, this ball is going to be out in the hands of somebody. Like, and he would know it and see it before the snap even happened.
I also I wonder what the Patriots are going to be willing to do to run the ball a little bit more. So, like, they're not going to put 3 tight ends on the field. So if you're looking at like 21 personnel, they don't rank particularly highly in that either. So what are the, like, how do you counter what this team can do? What the Seattle defense can do, especially if you want to set up the rushing game early on. And I guess I'm not totally sure what the Patriots have shown us that they're willing to do, and that's not saying that they're not willing to change. But I want to I think that the first few offensive snaps that New England goes out there and does are going to be extremely revealing.
Can Seattle tend to get aggressive? Can they get like blitz happy? Bring the extra man a lot?
I don't think of them as a blitz heavy team.
Me neither.
But I can try to find out real quick.
Yeah.
I do know that the Patriots run a lot of 11 personnel, so three wide receivers on the field. And I'm just not like, I guess that way you can attack more of the team, but still, like, I'm not totally sure that that's going to do a lot for you. I think that you're going to have to get a little bit bigger and try to run the ball more, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, Mike.
It's interesting because you think of like what Stafford was able to do against the Seattle secondary, but then like you got Puka, Devontae Adams, much different equation compared to what the Patriots got. But I mean, I grind that tape, there's something there.
So the Seahawks are near the league low in blitzing, and they're near the league high in light box rate.
What's their man coverage percentage?
God damn, Mike, what do you think? I'm made of Google searches here.
Just wondering what their man coverage. I mean, you don't have to tell me.
Their man coverage rate is 15.2%. It's in the bottom 10.
Okay, that makes sense.
And this, you might find this hard to believe, but they're the number 1 team in zone coverage. I'm sorry, the number 3 team in zone coverage.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so that takes away that idea. Oh, it'll be interesting.
It's interesting. This fits back. So, Mike,
like, I don't think. Oh, my last take was gonna be just kind of like what you slightly like alluded to earlier about like the Patriots as far as how well they can run the ball. Like, I don't think Like, I don't think we get up Monday morning, we fire up the mics, or, that afternoon we fire up the mics on Monday, and we're like, man, the way Ramondre Stevenson and/or Travion Henderson just dominated that game, I don't think that's going to come out of our mouths. It's really going to be like, did they do enough to not, like, so the Seahawks defense had to at least, like, for a little bit think, oh, what if they run the ball? you know, that's what they need to do, is just keep them as an option in the mind of Mike McDonald to watch out for. But I see no way where they just I don't think they go crazy.
Yeah, I think that they have too much. Like, it's just the Seattle defense counters it so well, right? So just to recap what we talked about there, the Patriots' run game excels on the outside. All of the Seahawks cornerbacks and defensive backs are great at tackling. Their offense, their passing game is reliant on B-tier receivers. The Seattle secondary has some of the best players in the league. And their offensive line is middling to poor, and especially their rookie left tackle, Will Campbell, who has not been the same since he came back from injury. And Seattle has, especially on their interior, but in general across their offensive line, good to great play. So it's going to be a tough sledding for the Patriots. I wish we had seen that Denver game, not in the middle of a blizzard, because then we could at least get a read on how Drake May is going to play against an elite defense. But outside of that, we haven't seen him play an elite defense all year. So
we'll never know. They didn't really play a lot of mobile QBs this year, Seattle.
What do you mean? They played Stafford three times.
Yeah.
See that guy take off in that third game?
Woo! Falcons, Colts, Rams.
They call him Matty
Panthers
Smokes.
Now. Bucks, no.
Yeah, like
Baker didn't take off a lot.
Even against like good defenses, mobile quarterbacks are a cheat code, right? That's literally how they won against the Broncos. Was Drake May had a few rushes, and that was the difference in that game. That, and obviously Jared Stidham once again doing a backwards chest pass. If they can get Sam Darnold to do a few backwards chest passes, which I'm not putting out of the question, maybe that's the strategy. But we do.
Well, I mean, last thing we're going to say, Jadon Daniels, your boy, he did average 5.1 a carry against him.
Yeah.
10 attempts, 51 yards. I mean, Drake May is sneakily athletic. You gotta watch out for him. He likes to run. So
we do need to talk about Darnold against this Patriots defense. This Patriots defense has not been stellar. I mean, like they've gotten better recently, but I think some of that's overblown by Mike. Stop me if you've heard this before. The weak level of competition they played.
Haven't heard that point made at all.
Yes, I believe we are the first people to bring this up.
Yes.
If we just look from week 12 on, the Patriots defense has been in the top 10 defenses in terms of EPA per play, top 5 defenses in terms of EPA per play allowed, top 7 in success rate. So they're definitely playing better. Now, I am not going to pay for DVOA, so I don't know where the DVOA is, but I'm sure it doesn't rank great because they haven't been playing amazing competition. But will this be the best defense that Sam Darnold has to face on his run to the Super Bowl? It's better than the Bears.
No.
Is it better than the Rams?
Sam Darnold?
Question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake May had a murder's row of good defenses faces, and he's played poorly against them.
Yeah. Yeah, this will probably be the hardest defense that Darnold's faced. I mean, Niners, Rams, yeah. They didn't really face too many tough defenses all year. Well, they did beat the Texans back in week 7.
So it does raise the question of what if this is the Darnold scene ghost game? Mm-hmm. So we talked about before how I am a Christian Gonzalez hater now. I just don't see it with him. But in the playoffs, Carlton Davis has played like pretty fucking good. And their defensive line, like we talked about before, can get a lot of pressure in the middle really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So do they just Jared Stidham his ass? Like, this is still Sam Darnold we're talking about, we all realize, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like pressure up the middle, change the look after the snap. Mike Vrabel's a clever dude, despite the fact that he makes some real dumb decisions about how he should test his rookie offensive linemen. Like, is there a chance that this is just Darnold comes out, gets fucking bodied by scheme, and it's over?
Oh, no. I mean, he didn't get I mean, Chris Shula is supposed to be so great. He didn't get bodied last game.
Chris Shula got passed over for a head coaching job by his offensive coordinator, who does not call plays. So maybe we overrated Chris Shula a little bit early in the season, Mike.
Everybody and their mother wouldn't stop talking about him during the coaching searches. I guess. I mean, even the pressure up the middle. Darnold had 2 touchdown passes against the Rams where he was falling away in the face of pressure.
That might have been that Rams game. That last the NFC title game might have been the best game I've ever seen Sam Darnold play. So is he peaking at the right time?
He could be. Now, the only worry is, did he actually just peak? And
it's all just downhill.
The valley. It was the quick drop.
And like we'll talk about the coaching battle in a second here, but like it's not as much of an offset as you would expect out of a lot of offensive minds to Josh McDaniels, because I think Josh McDaniels is he's offensive Stevie Spags, where he should just spend his entire life being a play caller and never touch a head coaching seat again.
Yeah.
Because he's so fucking good on that side of the ball, man. Like he knows what's up when it's calling plays. When it's getting your team to consistently play well and like you, not great. But Clint Kubiak's a fucking dude. I mean, that guy knows that. Look, once again, like NFC title game, he might have called his best game of his career. Mm-hmm. So, like, yes, if I'm Mike McDonald, if I'm Sam Darnold, if I'm Clint Kubiak, Corey Durden, Milton Williams, and Chris Tonga are keeping me up in the middle of the night. But can Kubiak and Darnold stitch together a game plan to outplay that defensive line?
I think they can. And I think a big part of it is going to be, and stop me if you heard this guy's name before, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Never heard of him. Is he like a kicker?
Never heard of him, yeah. No, he's actually not. He comes from wide receiver U. that one's Ohio State. Now you say Ohio State. No. It's not too often. Like even the greatest wide receivers in the game, some of them just have these immaculate seasons where it's like, wow, your value is actually transcending the typical like top value a wide receiver has on a team, like your impact on the game. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm being a little over the top, but I mean, I think back to like Antonio Brown's like last or next to last year in Pittsburgh when there was like a solid argument he could have won MVP that year.
Yeah.
Like they have these seasons and Jigba's having one of those seasons. He's a man possessed.
I think that we as a collective need to never forget how fucking ridiculous that NFC Championship game was. Like in Jigba, 153, 153 receiving yards, 10 receptions and a touchdown. Puka Nacua, 165, 9 receptions and a touchdown. Like that, those two guys, probably the two best wide receivers in the league right now, just going toe to toe with a berth to the Super Bowl on the line, fucking ruled.
You know what I was thinking about the other day?
What's that?
That kind of like connects to this is for like the last like 3 years, the prevailing thought has been like, oh, the AFC is the deeper conference at QB.
Uh-huh.
Is like the NFC the deeper conference for like stud number one wide receivers? Puka and Jigba, Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb,
AJ
Brown,
Malik Neighbors, and Mika Egbuka,
Chris Olave,
Drake London.
Yeah, Drake London.
Terry McLaurin.
If you had a good quarterback, you would have those numbers.
Terry McLaurin.
Is he still play football?
Terry McLaurin. Yeah, not in the NFL, but somewhere, I'm sure. Maybe at home with his kid.
Wide receivers are ridiculous. I mean, if the Bills could just get one of them.
Yeah. Why is LA being so rude? You know? They got Devontae Adams and Puka. They could just give Puka to the Bills and it wouldn't matter.
Trust me, everybody on Bills Twitter, every Rams game was like, seriously? We just let them have Devontae Adams. We couldn't find the goddamn cap space, Bean.
Do you think that when you come to Chicago, you'll never want to see the Bean now because of him? Have Beans been ruined for you?
I'm just gonna run up and start kicking
anti-Beans Regan.
I hate you, Bean.
You're just like your father, Brandon.
And then you'll look over, and then there's gonna be Keon Coleman kicking it as well. I hate you, Bean.
You think Keon Coleman celebrated when Terry Pegula's daughter lost at the Australian Open?
He had money on it.
But okay, so to go back to our previous strength comparison here. It's Monday morning. We're both nursing hangovers after we drank 16 beers apiece during the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. One for each touchdown scored.
One for each touchdown scored by Jackson Smith and Jigma. Do we text about, like, if we just send a text with Darnold followed by an emoji, what's the emoji following Darnold? I'll give you three options, unless you got one in mind. Okay, I didn't know if you were struggling to think of emojis.
No, go ahead. Give me your three options.
Okay, Darnold, ghost, right? Ghost emoji makes sense thematically. The Seton Ghost game was against the Patriots, by the way, when he was a Jet.
I'm sure they're going to talk about that all week.
Darnold shrug. Darnold eggplant.
I'm going to say those are all good. Is there an emoji for like big balls? Like a peanut maybe emoji or like a
grapefruit, yeah.
Yeah, like a grapefruit emoji. Because I could see us coming out of this game and Darnold not playing perfect, but it comes down to it late and he makes like that one throw. We're like, oh shit.
I feel like
bust out the Marco Bellinelli gift.
If he I feel like if he throws an interception early and comes back and wins the game with like 3 touchdowns, I'll have to draw and develop a born identity emoji and also the Darnold born identity emoji for like you can't remember the past but you're still a badass spy.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not ruling out the chance of a Darnold Dookie. You know, like he cakes his pants. But you know what? I believed him last week. And he proved me right.
Final one here, Mike. Drake May versus time. Is Drake May old enough and experienced enough to win a Super Bowl right now? This is like a first take segment. The rest of it is like, how does the Seattle offensive line measure up against Milton Williams? And now it's like, Drake May, 2.5% chance that he's old enough to win a Super Bowl. But
it's funny.
22.5% chance of winning this match. And
I almost, funny you say that, because I almost texted you the other day, but I stopped myself because I almost texted you a rant about how First Take is like, in shows like that, specifically First Take is like the laziest show in all of sports on TV.
Good thing you said on TV because I thought we were the laziest show in all of sports.
No.
It took me 2 seconds to get you to stand up.
Like look over and like the topic they're talking about is like, are the Bills? I was like, Buffalo Bills. Is it Super Bowl or bust? I'm like, think of something interesting to talk about instead of just like these like vague, stupid cliche lines.
Right, but you know why they say stuff like that, right?
Because like the dude who's drunk at the corner of the bar at 1 p.m. watching it can comprehend.
No, because then you get upset about it. You either tweet or text someone else, and they turn it on to get upset about it too. Like it's the Stern effect. People that love Howard Stern listen for an hour. People that hate Howard Stern listen for an hour and a half.
That's true. The only time I ever see First Take is when I'm at work because we just like have the TV and I'll like throw something on there. So you just like throw like ESPN on, whatever's on, it's fine. And First Take comes on every day. There's at least one thing where I'm like, God, you guys suck at your job. Sorry, it's so mean. I know, I shouldn't talk because
you're bad at your job.
No, I'm bad at my job. It's just like they make millions of dollars and everybody knows their names, but I'm like, you're not even. Anyway, what First Takey topic were we doing? Is Drake May experienced enough, old enough? Has he learned to win yet, Adam?
Yeah,
as the old saying goes.
I just want to point out he didn't win at UNC. He didn't win in his first season in the NFL. What if Drake May doesn't know how to win?
Yeah, they have to go out and buy a bunch of or sign a bunch of over the hill veterans. This team needs to learn how to win,
or just show him miracle like 3 times in a row. Then he'll learn how to win.
There you go. No, I think that whole thing is outdated to an extent. I can get. I do think he is younger, on the younger side, because he was only in school for 3 years and they left. And there is something to be said about like experience and like big moments, or playing a team like this in the biggest environment. That the mental aspect comes into it, or you just come up against the defensive coordinator that's in his bag at the biggest moment of the year and he catches you on one. I don't know how much that's going to play into it. With Drake May, I don't see it. I think he's carried himself this year like a vet. It's year 2, but he's carried himself this year like he's been doing it longer. I do think the one red flag is like he has not looked good
Against really good
in the
defenses.
playoffs so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I will say they're about to go play in what's probably gonna be like super sunny weather outdoor in Levi Stadium.
And Drake May,
Against,
tiny hands, small hands May.
I thought his hands were fine.
No, it's like 5 3/8. Like he's got small hands, man. Like he's below the threshold where you're going to fumble the ball more often, which he has. He's been fumble happy, especially in colder climates.
I just don't think I've seen him, even in the games where he didn't play well, I don't think I've seen him ever look overwhelmed.
Just whelmed. You've only seen him look whelmed.
Yeah, 9-1.
I think he looked pretty overwhelmed in that Houston game. I'll say, like, I'll give him credit in that Denver game for when everything was going wrong. He still managed to get where he needed to be, scored the touchdown, all that. But I have a shoulder cat. This is not going to go well, is it?
I will say to that,
this is a disaster waiting to happen.
And it's been like the most frustrating thing when the year-long storyline of the Patriots have the easiest schedule and this goes their way and they don't face anything, is that I can't say I've ever seen them really pushed. Like they collapsed against Buffalo and Buffalo came back and beat them and Drake didn't really do anything in the second half. So that's like the one example I can think of. Outside of that, they just like weren't pushed all season once things got going. So I don't know what they look like in that situation.
Well, I guess we'll find out on Sunday. Or we won't. Maybe right before the game on Sunday, Mike McDonald and Drake May will have like lovers quarrel, murder-suicide, and we'll never know.
Is it weird that I think if
Drake May meant Sam
Seattle...
Donald.
Yeah, I feel like if Seattle wins, it is like a 3-score win. And then I feel like if the Patriots win, it's like, a 1 to 3 point victory.
I don't think that's crazy. I think that the moral of that story is no matter what, bet Seattle -4.5. But
yeah,
I'm prone to agree with you, and I think that's just how like underdogs favorites typically work. Where if the favorite wins, it's a big win. If the underdog win, it's not. But I think the 4.5 point line's a little light from what I expect out of this game. With that, Mike, we touched on this a little bit already. I just as we've gone long talking about the offensive line and Drake May's age, let's just give a quick thumbs up, thumbs down on this. We're gonna go through the coaching staff here. I want you to tell me who is doing more for their team going into this. So we'll start with the head coach. Who is a more impactful head coach in this game? Mike Vrabel or Mike McDonald? Which Mike?
Oh, God. Those are both so big, but I'm actually going to say Mike McDonald.
Yeah, because I think Mike Vrabel, he's very much in a newer version of this, but he's very much in the Tomlin, Harbaugh, Belichick. I'm not coming here to implement my scheme. I'm coming here to be the CEO guy, to raise the floor, to get everyone to compete day in and day out. Mike McDonald is like the Brandon Staley of the universe where Trump didn't get elected, where he's coming in and doing shit different and has like Legion of Boom 2.0, where his schemes look different, his defense looks different, the team plays different than anyone else, and it's working. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm with you on Mike McDonald. Let's go next to the two head coaching candidates, offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak versus offensive coordinator Josh McDaniel. Who does more in this game for their team?
I'm going to say Kubiak.
Why is that?
Because I don't think... I know like the box scores would say different when you look at the season May had. I don't think that the Patriots have had this like unbelievable offense at any point this year. I think at points Seattle has, and it's because of Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, I think Seattle. I think Clint Kubiak has earned his position as a head coach. I will say, maybe this is cheating because it's not what the coordinator is doing. Drake May has a lot more to work with than Sam Darnold, so there's a lot more shit you can get into if you're Josh McDaniel.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, Aiden Durday versus Terrell Williams. Who do you trust more come Sunday?
I mean, but I say Durday because with Durday, the caveat comes that he's also got Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't matter because Mike McDonald's really the one who you trust.
Yeah.
And finally, shout-outs to Jay Harbaugh, the special teams coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks special teams has been awesome. Like we talked about this a little bit.
Oh yeah.
like Raheem Shaheed has an outside chance of winning Super Bowl MVP if he has like a punt return touchdown, which he's had plenty of.
Yeah, he can do it.
He can do it. All right, Mike. Finally, let's pick an X factor. One on offense, one on defense. That's 2 total, not 2 for each team. So give me your offensive X factor for the Super Bowl. Who is the person who, if they show up, this team wins?
So
yeah, so
you know what? I already said it when we were talking about one of the matchups earlier, and so I'll stick with it for fun and say AJ Barner.
AJ Barner, yeah. I mean that's a really good one because like he had the 2-point conversion when they beat the Rams in overtime that game, right? That was him, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just a great pass blocker. He's going to be in there for more snaps than I think any of the other tight ends.
Yeah.
So I think he shows up.
Have to show up.
Is.
He's going to show.
Yeah.
He's going to have to show up in his pass blocking. He's going to have to be able to get outside to seal off some blocks on the run, and like you said, clutch moments. He's going to have to be there to pick up those yards for a first down.
How about I flip over and I say that if Stephon Diggs turns back the clock and has a true historic Stephon Diggs game, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, just like 14 receptions.
Yeah.
On 15 targets, something like that.
I think
that's how they move the ball.
I think that's a good one too. And I think if I'm Dirty and McDonald, I'm looking at the weapons. I'm circling Diggs. Like, I know he may not look like what he once did, but it's probably still in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then funny enough, the next person I'm probably circling is that bastard Hunter Henry. But no, I definitely think Diggs could be the difference for the Patriots offense.
All right. And then we need defensive X factors. So go ahead first, Mike. Who is your X factor on defense? Where if this person shows up, this team is probably winning the game.
Okay. I can only pick one though.
Yes, that is how this game works.
All right, I'm going to say
if you could pick 11, this would be a really.
I was going to pick a Seahawk, but I feel like in the 2 podcasts where we've talked Super Bowl, I've just been talked nothing but about the Seahawks. So I'm going to try to say something nice about the Patriots. And I'm going to say that if you go either one of these 2 men, but if Christian Gonzalez plays the game of his life to slow down JSN, that will be massive. So I'm going to say Christian Gonzalez at corner. You could say Carlton Davis too, but one of those guys. I'm going to say Gonzalez.
Yeah, and I think that's a good one also because Gonzalez is having a down off season compared to where he's played previously. I maintain that. I don't care what his PFF grade is. I'll go ahead and go with the Seahawk then.
Okay.
Led the team in regular season sacks, has 0 so far, despite being 3rd on the team in pressures. Byron Murphy II. Byron Murphy II, 2 sack game. Curtains for Drake May.
Hook him.
Oh, I didn't realize he played for Texas. He's got a Texas ass name, doesn't he? Byron Murphy.
Big old Byron Murphy up in the middle right now.
that was more of an Oklahoma accent. If I'm gonna
big old Byron Murphy. Yeah, it was during the Red River game. They were like,
oh, got it. That makes sense.
Watch out for him now.
Yeah.
Watch out for that big old Byron Murphy now, boy.
It sounds like you're auctioneering him. All right, Mike. That's all I got. Any final Super Bowl notes you wanna make there, or you want to save them all for Wednesday?
Same for Wednesday. I feel like a lot of the stuff we talked about, my takes finished with a "we'll see." So
with a potential Sam Darnold shrug emoji.
Yeah. So when we come back Wednesday, I'll have more definitive hot takes nailed down.
There should be 2 kinds of shrug emojis. There should be the one you have that's like, them's the breaks. But then there should be another one that's like the Jordan shrug, where it's like, yeah, I guess I'm just that fucking good.
Wait, the Jordan shrug or the security guy?
I was saying the Jordan shrug. The security guy is doing the Jordan shrug. Because he had just beat Jordan at like Mahjong or Dominoes or something and did that shrug afterwards. Yeah. That's the whole story with it. Anyways.
I think was it the game where you had to like throw something towards the wall and get it the closest without touching it or something?
Yeah, that was exactly what it was. Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he beat him at that and then hit the Jordan shrug on Jordan.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mike, you got any plugs on the way out the door? Anything you want to bring up?
No, just follow me. You're going to hit the socials and all that good stuff, so I'll let you do that. Yeah. And I actually did start writing again. So maybe I'll actually finish it this time and put something out there. But per usual, I promise nothing, and you should expect nothing.
Mike's unbroken his fingers just to hit us with the non-Jordan shrug about if it's going to get finished. Yeah, all of our socials are in the description. You can email us at townalonepodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what shrug, not even what shrug emoji, what emoji you think Sam Darnold will put up in the Super Bowl. If you're listening to the audio version of this, first off, give us 5 stars, unless, once again, it's at 10, 15, 20. Give us the most amount of stars possible. Give us every possible star, even if you hate the fucking show. You know what? We're the only people out here trying to take down Bill Simmons. If you are listening to the audio version of the show, we also put it on YouTube, now edited with multicam, so you have so many things to look at. It's all over the place. You can look left, you can look right, you can look center. We also stream. We did that yesterday, and we will do another one on Thursday, playing through Silent Hill F. Mike spoiled the game for himself, so come by and try to convince Mike to say a spoiler on stream. And we'll be back on Wednesday. Got another podcast on Wednesday, got another podcast on Friday. And I am going to see Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 in theaters on Saturday, so we will not do a podcast on Saturday. It'll be 4 hours of my life, Mike. With that, on the way out the door, would you like to give a Senior Bowl Base shout-out to anyone?
Senior Bowl Base shout-out. Shout-out to Illinois QB Luke the Liquor Altmaier. That was gross. I'm sorry, Luke. I don't know what that is.
That was real bad. His name's Luke Altmaier. Isn't there another Altmaier in this draft?
Ooh, shout out to the alternate QB, Luke Altmaier.